Hi, Peter. You've just joined the Acora Resources team. What were your reasons behind joining Acora?
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Look, I was really excited to look at the opportunity because it's rare that you find projects with such great metrics, and we'll come to that in a second. But a lot of great work's been done in the iron ore space, and I feel that there's an enormous amount of value that can be generated out of this project.
When you're talking metrics, what are some of the metrics that have caught your eye, given that the PFS is still kind of hot off the press?
Yeah, well, the team preceding me and led by Paul Bibby completed the PFS recently, as you said. But what strikes you is that the very quick payback of the DSO-based iron ore project that doesn't take into account the deep-seated material, but quick payback, 1.8 years, incredible metrics, revenue to cost ratio exceeding 2 to 1, where we've assumed an iron ore price of $100 a tonne US and a cost base of 42. Anyone can do the numbers quickly. That turns into cash very fast, and really that only considers, as I said, the surface material, the DSO. And I think the other thing that struck me is that only approximately 45% of the known structural trend at Becky Soper has been drilled. So there is a question mark about whether or not we can build upon what we already have as a very strong project worth over 140 million US dollars.
So for those not in the know, DSO translates to direct shipping ore. Just walk through those who may not be as familiar with the Acora story as you are, how the project is set up to return early revenues and then the longer play.
Yeah, so you're correct. DSO it's a very simple process. We're talking about shallow open pit mining where we mine, screen, and truck and ship the material. There's no complex processing facility required for DSO, and very well-worn path in the iron ore space. And I suppose when you consider projects, it's a very low-risk entry into cash flow because there's not many things that you have to consider, and the capital cost is low, circa $60 million. And that's a rare thing to be able to have access to. And I think the larger opportunity that sits there is the deep-seated primary magnetite material, which we're not even talking about in the PFS. So it gives us the ability to get going, generate strong cash in a very quick period of time for at least 6 years. And in that period, we can consider what else may be for the project. But it has the potential to be a very long life mine in Madagascar.
And certainly if we look at the world market, there's a lot of talk of green steel, but certainly a lot of talk also about traditional blast furnace steel manufacturers wanting cleaner inputs. That sets Acora up very favourably, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, we're blessed with Mother Nature. It's a very clean material, little to no what we call deleterious or impurity elements in it. And if you have a look at a bit of a map of the world, the location of this project is brilliant from the point of view of servicing markets, which may either be, and furnaces, which could be in places such as the Middle East, India, and Greater Asia. So we're in a very good position to contribute to that whole green steel pathway that is unfolding.
So you've got the projects, that's obvious. PFS has shown some very strong metrics. You've got the market is emerging to meet you very nicely, but you've also got the team. I think that's worth talking about.
It is, and as I touched on earlier, Paul Bibby has led the team, I think, brilliantly to get to the point of PFS. The amount of work to go into that, whilst the public may not see it, is enormous. But we're led by Chairman Graham Hunt, who has had a long history in the iron ore industry with BHP, and Paul, of course, worked for a long time at Rio. So we really have the right people on the bus to take this project forward. So that, you know, the next steps clearly now the PFS is out is to build on that. So we'll build on that with respect to it adding not a lot of people, but additional capability to take this project from effectively an exploration project to a development and an operating project.
So talking team, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Peter, but how do you feel your background serves Ecora's ambitions moving forward?
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. I think obviously my role is to sort of oversee the development of the project. My background originally is technical as a geologist, having worked in the mining industry, but also in a business development and finance function in the commercial industry for a long time. The most recent transaction I was involved in was with Rex Minerals as part of that executive team, and it was a very similar situation in that we had a project that had moved from exploration into funding, and then subsequently the plan was development, and we put that package together to take it from, as I said, explorer to developer. That was very successful, so successful as it turned out that that company was taken over. But I think what it did show is we know what steps need to take place from here to sort of get a good financial outcome for shareholders with the value that's embedded in this project.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're wearing a lot of hats, even perhaps a hard hat coming up. But what are the next steps from here? The PFS behind you. You've got your sort of legs under the desk now. What are the next steps?
Yeah, so there's a number of steps, some internal, some external, but you know, clearly our focus is moving to establish the MOU in country on the project, the Memorandum of Understanding. We've also kicked off a strategic partnering process based here in Melbourne, and the objective is to deliver FID by the end of this calendar year. That being achieved, we then move into the phase of project execution, which is funding and, of course, you know, actual physical on-the-ground development into next calendar year.
So you certainly joined the company at a time when it's all happening, Bill Lawry might say.
It is all happening, and as I can't stress enough, this is an exciting opportunity for me, but also for shareholders. Again, to stress, it's unusual to see a project with such good margins. I mean, I would challenge any listener to find many projects in this industry around the world that contribute that sort of margin. You know, so look at it's 100-ton dirt and it costs $42 to get out of the ground. Everyone else can do the maths, and that's US dollars, so it's not Aussie dollars.
Well, certainly sounds like an investment opportunity for people watching the iron ore markets.
It does, Gareth. It is a great story. I'd urge everyone to have a look at it and just watch this space. We've got a lot to achieve for the rest of this year, and I think people will get excited.